Broadcasting across the United States, Canada, and around the world, this is the Bible Answer Man broadcast. Your host for the program is Hank Hanegraaff, President of the Christian Research Institute. We're on the air because life and truth matter. For more information, resources, or to donate to CRI, call 888-7000-CRI or go online to equip.org. That's equip.org. The following program was pre-recorded. To start today's Bible Answer Man broadcast, here's your host, Hank Hanegraaff.
Thank you very much, Randy. Listening to Christian radio sometimes, or Christian quote-unquote television, or reading Christian literature, I am appalled at the shallowness of Christian leaders today who see Revelation as though it is a book of riddles that originate from their shallow post-Christian minds, when in reality it is a book of symbols that are deeply rooted in Old Testament history. I heard just the other day a broadcaster talking about the two witnesses in Revelation. Of course, if you want to rightly identify the two witnesses, he was wrongly identifying them. It is crucial to have the background music of the Old Testament coursing through your mind. What's clear when you do is that the two witnesses are a metaphorical reference to Moses and Elijah. Of course, Old Testament jurisprudence mandated at least two witnesses to convict of a crime. And in this case, the two witnesses accuse Israel of apostasy. In Revelation, the imagery is invested in witnesses who preside over the judgment and destruction of Jerusalem and, of course, the temple. Like Moses, they have the power to turn water into blood. Like Elijah, they have power to call down fire from heaven to consume their enemies and to shut up the sky so that it won't rain for 3.5 years. Of course, like Jesus, their sacrificial lambs and their corpses unceremoniously litter the streets of Jerusalem, the very city in which their Lord was crucified. The city is figuratively called Sodom. Why? Because it epitomizes human wickedness. In Egypt, because it's emblematic of the slavery from which only Jesus Christ can emancipate. They're dressed in sackcloth, they're in ashes, because they're identified with the tradition of Hebrew prophets from Elijah to John the Baptist, who wore sackcloth in mourning over Israel's apostasy. Called to be a light to the nations, she was prostituting herself with the nations. So the two witnesses form a composite image of the law and the prophets, culminating in the life, death, the resurrection and ascension of a prophet, a priest who is the earnest of all who are his witnesses and who will reign with him in a new Jerusalem wherein dwells righteousness. In light of biblical imagery, the two witnesses are revealed not as two literal people, not a future reincarnation of Moses and Elijah, but as literary characters in John's apocalyptic narrative, representing the entire line of Hebrew prophets in testifying against Israel and warning of the soon-coming judgment of God on Jerusalem. If you want to understand that more fully, more clearly, I've written a book called The Apocalypse Code. Find out what the Bible really says about the end times